Hi everybody, this is just a little video to explain to you the very basics of nutrition. You might have seen this slide, you might have been training, hopefully you are getting into training and are enjoying it. You have probably attended a few mindset workshops and training sessions, and you're probably getting into that as well, which is great. But usually the piece that's missing is that nutrition. So what we're going to do is help you create your perfect diet in this little seminar here. So just gonna have a slurp of my tea and then we'll get cracking. And this is really the missing piece that a lot of people struggle with. So just have a little think about, the things that you're struggling with around nutrition. It's good to have a little notebook written down next to you whilst we're going through this. I'm gonna give you some things that I want you to write down in your workbook, in your notebook. I'm gonna just make sure we can, I can see this. Okay, here we go. Cool. So the first thing I want you to write down on your notepad are your goals. So just write down your goals, take a moment there. Write down the things that you joined, the reasons you joined Witterings Fitness and the reasons you're doing all this training. Okay, so we've got things like probably lose weight, improve improve energy, and why are we doing these things? To improve our confidence, to improve our self-esteem. How will nutrition help you do this? Okay, so just again, right next to the goal, how is nutrition going to help you do this? Why do you actually want to achieve that goal? Well, hopefully you wrote down there something along the lines, of making you feel better, improve your energy, and like I say, improve your confidence. Next thing, I just fell off my chair. Next thing, are you open-minded to try new things with nutrition? Okay, so I'm going to be suggesting things. Are you open-minded to try new things? If you are, write down, I am open-minded to try new things. A lot of us have emotional attachments to food. We have poor habits. So we want to be aware of what they are so we can be open-minded to try new things, because I'm going to suggest something and then we're going to be like, nope, I don't want to do that because I'm emotionally eating, and not really aware that I'm emotionally eating, but I am. Do we hold any particular beliefs about what is good or bad for us? So such as sugar is bad, and too much sugar is bad, yes, but or this is good for me because someone told me that I need to eat X, Y, and Z to be healthy. So have a think about that as we go through. I want you to write down what things you've tried before. Did it really work for you? As in, are you still doing it? I'm guessing the answer is no, because you're watching this video and you're working on nutrition. So have you been to certain weight loss groups before? And if you are not doing what you want, if you're not where you want to be right now, why is that? Did it, was it too complicated? Was it not sustainable? Is it just, does it not fit with your lifestyle? Why do those things not work? Did it just focus on getting your weight down? Obviously, as a byproduct of improving your nutrition, your weight is going to come down, but we're not just thinking about that. We also want, more energy, probably fitting into clothes better, that sort of thing. So if your weight just came down and the other things stayed the same and you were still low energy, pretty sure you would not be happy with your result. Okay, cool. And if you do feel like you are eating in a disordered way, then I would like you to seek some other help, some professional help on that. So if you feel like you are anorexic or bulimic, or eating, like I say, eating in a disordered way, then just you might find that this isn't the right approach for dealing with that problem. Okay, cool. That's your intro done. So here we go. This is what we're going to go through. We're going to understand what are the basic nutrition principles. What is a calorie? What are micros? What are macros? If you understand this stuff and apply it, then you will feel more energy. You will feel lighter. You will feel healthier and cleaner. you just feel cleaner. I can't really explain it other than that. But you just clean up your diet. I'm not talking about clean eating 100% of the time. I'm talking about burning a cleaner energy, I suppose. And if you put crap in, you get crap out. So we've got all our different goals. Most of us are looking at probably a fat loss and health. So I'm going to talk mainly about that. But basic nutrition does apply for everybody who, whatever your goal is. So this will apply for everybody. It's just that if you're gaining muscle and strength, then you're going to be wanting to eat a little bit more, but it's still more of the good stuff. It's not just more of whatever the shit you're eating at the moment. Okay. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, Hippocrates. We've known about nutrition for a long, long time. For those of you who don't know, this is a Greek philosopher from many, many moons ago. And he knew about nutrition and food being, able to sort out various medical issues and ailments. I think it was Thomas Edison who also said that the doctors of the future will be prescribing nutrition and exercise to help people. Unfortunately, we're still not quite there, and we're still not quite actually prescribing that to people. We're getting there, but we aren't there. But we all know that with good nutrition, amazing, amazing things can happen. Now, we are just focusing on the very basics for now. We just want to get a sustainable 80% thing that you can do most of the time. We don't want to be 100% with nutrition, and we don't want to be 0%. We want to be 80%, so we don't feel guilty about having a nice meal at the weekend or a little bit of ice cream. But if you're having ice cream every night, then there's a problem. Okay. Health versus fitness. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm healthy, but I'm unfit. Okay. They are so intertwined, you can't really separate them. You could say your health is like, I'm free from disease and things like that. But if you cannot walk to or run down the end of the road without getting completely out of breath, I think that is quite unhealthy. And whilst you might be free from disease, your body is not functioning to the fullest of its ability. So I just wanted to say that, because I think the nutrition affects both of those massively. And one is the other. Like if you've got a bad back, you could be classed that as unhealthy or unfit, whatever. But nutrition is going to affect your health and fitness. The biggest problem with nutrition is that people are not keeping it simple enough. We always want to be doing the latest thing. There's so many rabbit holes to go down with nutrition. We can talk about paleo, we can talk about the Mediterranean diet, we can talk about keto, we can talk about all sorts of stuff. Okay. But the problem with all of those is that they are 100%, and you cannot maintain 100% clean eating, or you cannot, ketogenic. Like I'm not saying that they don't work. They do work, and some of them are amazing, but it's not sustainable for most people all of the time. So we are going to find perfect diet that works for you. So there's lots of rabbit holes we can go down, where there's emotion, there's regulation, there's social media, there's people posting things. We're getting quite confused over what's healthy and what's bad because of one thing we see on social media. So I would say just delete these people off social media and just get rid of it. People quoting research, yeah, there's a lot of research, but if you don't know how to interpret the research, then it can be quite sketchy, because you can say, here's 10 people and they all got stronger. Let's look at what they eat. Oh, they all eat apples. Apples make you stronger, says the research. Not necessarily true. It just might have been, that's called a correlation study. What you really need is sort of like a comprehensive review of various studies, and then you can say with a bit more certainty what research actually shows. So beware on the old research thing. I mean, like a newspaper will publish the latest research. Right? The newspaper, news and media and social media, all of them are designed to capture your attention, and they're not going to capture it with the most boring headline, which is a nutrition, a healthy diet with minimal processed foods will contribute to less, more healthy life. That is fucking boring, but that is the reality. And I'll show you the actual research in a minute. Everyone is different. Everyone has different goals. So again, one thing that works for somebody might not work for somebody else. Is it good? Is it bad? It depends, is usually my answer. If you're eating it all the time, it's bad. If you're eating a little bit, it's fine. The other problem is most people are trying to sell stuff. We're trying to get you onto some shakes or something. We're trying to get you onto some herbal supplements, some special tea, all of that crap. So just get rid of the bullshit, get rid of it. And again, eating disorders do play into a big part of it. If you don't have a diagnosis and then don't worry about it. But if you have a diagnosis, go and get some proper help, and because it can really ruin life. You don't want to be worrying about the latest nutrition. Most people with this kind of issue, they know all about nutrition. They just need to go and get help from a proper coach, from a proper therapist. All right. What is a calorie? Have a little guess if you want to write it down on your notepad. But a lot of us think, well, we don't actually know what a calorie is. It's just something that's on food that makes us fat. Okay, that was the latest response I had. A calorie is actually a measure of energy, and it does not indicate the nutritional value of your food. Okay, so just because something is low calorie doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's healthy. In fact, it's probably been processed to remove something. Okay, you don't get low calorie, oranges. It's just an orange, right? But you do get low calorie yogurts which have been processed. Low calorie breakfast bars which have been processed. Okay, and we don't even know if it's that low calorie. We just know it says low calorie. It doesn't mean, low calorie compared to what? We have no idea. Calories are important. They can be used to change the body composition. So it can be used to make you lose weight, but not on their own. If you just carry on eating the same and specifically change your calories, then you're probably still going to have lower energy. You might lose weight, but it's not, you're going to be starving because you're not nourishing your body. You have to nourish yourself. You don't need to count calories, but actually I do recommend you have an idea of what you need in a day and what you're actually eating. Because if you get really stressed out with the calorie thing, it is really finger in the air stuff. Like, you don't exactly know how many calories are in something. You might just have to guesstimate it. But if you're having a good idea and you're hitting where you need to be, then you'll definitely be on the right track. Okay. Macros and micros. So if we go macros, protein, fats, carbs. Everybody can name me a few proteins. So you've got eggs, meat, fish, but also you've got vegetable proteins, chickpeas, legumes, all those sorts of things, quite high in protein. And I'm a vegetarian, and that's what I eat for my protein. I supplement with some protein powder and I make shakes and things. And that's just to make sure that I'm getting that extra protein in. It's super important. Helps you feel satisfied. Most people are not eating enough protein. If we look at what you eat per day, it's not a lot of protein. A lot of us aren't even eating any fats because fats is bad, all right? Fats make you fat. Not true. Only too many calories make you fat. If all those calories were fat, well, you'd probably be on a keto diet, but keto helps you lose weight, right? So you see how confusing it can be. Carbohydrates, we know, just go back to fats. What are we thinking around fats? Nuts, seeds, oils, avocados, olive oil, olives, those sorts of things. The fat from meat as well. Carbohydrates, pasta, bread, those are all the things that spring into mind for you right now. But what about vegetables? All vegetables are carbohydrates. An apple is a carbohydrate. A sugar is carbohydrate. So carbohydrates, again, they're not necessarily bad, but certain ones are better than others. Certain ones have more, what we're going to talk about in a minute, micros in them. Okay, so carbohydrates are going to give us energy to actually fuel our activity in the day. Fat helps us with all sorts of stuff like your skin and your hair and eyes and all sorts of things like that, and hormone production. And protein is the same. Pretty much all of those are proteins and fats. Carbs fuel your body. That's why your shampoo has avocado enriched shit in it. Okay, micros, vitamins and minerals. also known as all of the good stuff that we don't necessarily need to know specific quantities. Like if you want to go to the next level in nutrition, then you'll be talking about what are the specific quantities I need, what am I missing out on. But what you really your body is really good at is picking out what it needs from what it's eating. So as long as you're eating enough colorful vegetables and fruits in your diet, and if you have enough variety, and you need quite a lot of variety, so don't just go and eat green things, like you need other things in there, then you will get those vitamins and minerals. And if you've got that balanced diet, you will get those things. If you omit one thing, if you get rid of fats, if you get rid of carbs, then that's where you start having vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Okay, so super important, but we're not going to worry too much about this. We're just going to worry more about having a balanced meal each time we eat. So for example, you might have your morning thing to eat could be a slice of toast with some jam on. That is carbs with jam, which is carbs, and fruit in the jam, which is carbs. So you're getting a carby breakfast, no fats, no protein, unless you scraped a bit of butter on there as well, a bit of fat in there. But no protein. Then in lunchtime, you're probably having a sandwich with maybe a thin piece of protein in the middle, perhaps a little piece of lettuce, nothing really exciting there, and some crisps. So carbs and carbs, tiny bit of protein and carbs, maybe some fruit after that, or a chocolate bar, carbs. And then at dinner, you have a big spaghetti bolognese, so more carbs, and a little bit of meat, a little bit of protein. So things that we're really missing out on in our diets are protein, good healthy fats, and better choices on carbs. Okay, so we can talk about how to make that sort of thing better. So here's the things that we need to know to make our perfect diet. Number one is calorie density. There's no real getting away from it. I don't really like it, talking about calories, focusing on calories too much, but there is no getting away from it. Even if you're eating all the healthy foods, but you're just eating too many of them, then you've got a calorie imbalance. There's more calories coming in and there's less calories coming out. You've got this deficit that is going to get stored as fat. It doesn't matter whether you're eating fat, carbs, or protein, you're still going to have too many calories in your body, and your body's going to store it as fat. So we can't get away from the calorie density. It needs to be right. We need to have digestibility. That means your body needs to be able to actually digest the food. And it's a little bit of an advanced thing, but you'll notice if you're getting bloated on certain foods. We need to have nutrient quality. We talked about this in the core 4. So this is goodness in. We need to make sure those foods we pick are full of those micronutrients. We need to hydrate. There's so much research on hydration, how important that is for you. And we need to like what we're eating. So we need to find things that we like. And there's so many options. There really is no excuse to not enjoy healthy food. I mean, it is, if you get into it, it is lovely. Like, it's delicious and it feels good. Okay, so calorie density, there's going to be a lot of things that affect this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link to this calculator. I like to use this Precision Nutrition /nutrition-calculator. So if you go to that and get started, fill in all details, and then it's going to give you a calorie measure. Okay, so for me, I obviously am doing quite a lot. Let's see, this is mine. Okay, this is what it comes out for me. Okay, so I've got 4,000. Sorry, let's just change screen here. Right, 2 seconds. I've just lost the screen. There it is. Nope. Okay, Here we go. Okay, so I've got 4,498 calories a day. That is a lot of calories, but bearing in mind the amount I'm on my feet, the amount of exercise I do in a day, that's what I need probably to just maintain athletic performance. Okay, so for me, that looks like 6 palms of protein, and I'm vegetarian, so bear that in mind. 6 to 8 portions of veg, 5 cupfuls of carbs per day. And look at these examples of carbs: oats, sweet potato, beans, and blueberries, not pasta, bread, rice. Okay, 30 healthy fats a day. That's quite a lot. And I eat a lot of these: chia seeds, olive oil, walnuts, hemp seeds, all that sort of stuff. I love it. And it's easy to mix that in. Okay, so that was probably me going a bit on a higher fat diet because just because of my preferences, but I don't want to talk too much about that because that's a rabbit hole. All right, so let's get on to that. Have a look at what you need. If you want to send me the results of that, because I want to make sure that you've actually got it right and it's not wildly out, then feel free, just message me and let me know. Okay, digestibility. You may not be able to digest certain foods as well as other people. Usually this shows up as skin issues, so poor skin, which can also be caused by hydration, by the way. So I'm talking like irritations in your skin, autoimmune responses, really low energy after eating certain things, gas and bloating. That's what I kind of get, unfortunately. For me, it is cheese, dairy, and barley. Those are my big things that I just doesn't sit well with me. And I used to go and have eggs on toast, which usually probably would have barley in it, not always, and butter, so that would be my breakfast before a Saturday morning workout. And that's why it would just not be good for me on a Saturday. I'd just be really struggling. So the problem with these is that some of them are really obvious. You can notice them straight away, and some of them are just kind of slow burners. It might show up a couple of days later, so it can be quite difficult to put your finger on it. But a lot of these things are processed anyway. So cheese is quite processed. A lot of grains we eat are quite processed. So we should be kind of minimizing on a lot of these anyway. If you're having really big problems with this, then I would recommend getting in touch with me and booking in a blood test so you can actually get tested and find out what foods are causing you problems. Some people have problems with nuts as well. So that is digestibility. So if you finish a meal and you're like, "Ooh, I'm stuffed, can't move, need to unbutton my belt," or your tummy is just swollen, then that is inflammation in your gut. So that is what we're talking about when we talk about digestibility. Nutrient quality. So hopefully this kind of is obvious. Eat more of the rainbow, less processed food. As soon as you process a food, they're taking out the nutrition. It's lost in that processing. So we've got an example here: burger and fries versus a steak and baked potato with some broccoli. Okay, obviously this is a better choice. It's not that drastically different. Like most people who like a burger and chips will also like a steak and potatoes. And this has actually got more calories in it than this. Okay, but look at the amount of difference so this is why you can't just trust calories, because this is also better nutrients on this one. So the blue one, you've got more protein, you've got more iron, you've got way more vitamin A and vitamin C. So if you're eating whole foods, you're getting more of those micronutrients as well as more protein than you are. As soon as it's processed, you've just lost so much of the good stuff. Okay, so that hopefully puts it into perspective for you. So if you're out at a restaurant, that's an easy choice to make. Do I have the burger and chips, or do I have the steak and potatoes? It's basically the same thing. It's just not been processed. Hydration. So I harp on about this a lot, but just from an exercise point of view, if you're dehydrated by 2% of your body weight, 5% of body weight can decrease work capacity by 30%. So your performance is going to be imparted by 30%, which is phenomenal. And this can show up in all sorts of things, like your low energy, pain in joints, body functions just aren't working as well. So there's lots of ways, lots of easy things you can do, sort out with just hydrating a bit more. We want you to be going for at least 2.5 liters, maybe 3 to start with, and then we're going to even up that over time. And when you're getting hungry, just get some water in you as well, because you're going to feel hungry if you're not, especially if you're not used to drinking water. To start with, you're going to be pissing like a racehorse, but eventually you will get the water in you, and you'll start holding it a bit better, and you're just going to feel way better. When you get dehydrated, your blood is basically getting thicker in your body, so it doesn't even flow around your body. It's not taking the oxygen away. Okay, palatability. We're talking now about learning to cook tasty things. I've got loads of easy to follow video recipe guides for you guys, so there is no excuses. You can find a couple of recipes in there and just repeat them. You'll realize that you're being quite boring with your nutrition anyway. Like, what you eat is quite common. We eat the same thing week in, week out anyway. So just make some better choices with that. Enjoy it, learn some different flavors, impress your mates, invite people over and say, "Panel, this is something new I'm trying," and they'll be impressed. And oh, by the way, it's also healthy. Like, you don't even need to tell people it's healthy. Don't even need to tell them. Just cook them something nice. Okay. Make meals you enjoy. Cooking can help you be a lot more consistent. If you're going, there's lots of easy things out there, but again, they're not really sustainable. Like, where you don't need to put any brain power into thinking. So when you're caught out, so there's like the what's it called? You know what I mean? I can't remember what it's called right now, but deliver everything to the door. All you need to do is put it in the pan and done. And that's okay, but it's not sustainable long term. You need to be able to bang something out with what you've got in the fridge. You need to have stuff in the fridge. Okay, so for me, if I'm caught out, stir fry, so easy to make. Like, it doesn't take very long at all to make that. And if you really, really are caught out, you can even buy pre-chopped veg. If you're, if I'm caught out for lunch, I'll just go and get a tub of hummus and carrots and different veggies and dip it in the hummus and eat it. So I've got protein and carbs. Olives for fat. It's just, that's like easy, fast food, but it's not unhealthy. It's not getting a sandwich and crisps. Instead, I'm looking at the veggie stick. So just don't go outside of the veggie department. Don't go down the aisles and you'll be good. All right. When you're setting out with your nutrition, we're not trying to set out to prove anything. So we're not trying to prove that you can't do it. A lot of people are like, I can't do it. Look, I'm so lazy. I hate eating this food. My family hates it. La-di-da-di-da. Just focus on what you can do, okay? Not what you can't do. Remember, it's a challenge. I said it's for 30 days there, but it's for the duration of your program. Remember why you're doing it and what you're going to gain from it. So remember the why, and ask people for help. Like, I'm trying to do this for my health, my longevity, my happiness, my mental health. All of these things are going to be massive for you, and nutrition plays a huge part in that. So number one principle is focus on the unprocessed foods. Okay, so shop in the produce area, avoiding the aisles. Most of your food should have an expiry date, which is in the next week, not next year. Try to shop locally if you can. Extra points if you get seasonal foods, but don't worry about that too much. Eat as much veg as you like. You don't need to worry about how much spinach you're eating, really, unless you're dousing it in butter. That means non-starchy veg. So if you think potatoes are veg, well, it's not really. We're going to put it in starchy veg category because they're just overgrown and selective growth and all this stuff. So your potato of today is not the potato we had 20-30 years ago. So just non-starchy vegetables, leafy greens, all that sort of thing, broccolis, all this good stuff. Okay. Oh, this is the research that I was talking about earlier. It's really boring, but there was quite a big, major finding. A diet rich in minimally processed whole foods can lead to lower rates of heart disease, cancer, depression, type 2 diabetes, among other health problems. That was the major finding. Did it get featured in any news outlet whatsoever? No, because it was bloody boring. Okay, principle number 2, enjoy your food, eat slowly without distractions, just you and the food, and you're enjoying it, or maybe with somebody else. Okay, talk about the food, smell it, enjoy it, make love to it, whatever you need to do. Don't make love to it, that'd be weird. But what we don't want to be doing is sitting at the desk, at the phone, at the computer, TV, driving, listening to loud music, you know, all of that stuff, because you're not focused on your food, you're focused on that, and you're not even going to register what you've eaten. Eat until you feel full, 80% of your, you know, fullness level. You don't need to finish that food. You can put it away, put it in a box for later. Be grateful that you've had the food, be comfortable with it, focus on the colors, the textures, the smells. Like I said, it can take 20 minutes. If you've got a food diary on the go, that is good. I want you to all be doing food diaries, because that will make you more aware of what you're doing. You're not just shoving a bloody breakfast bar or a chocolate bar into your mouth without thinking about it. You know, you've got to write it down. Alcohol. Okay, 30 days. I want you to try and break this habit, okay? If you think that's way too much, just try 3 days. Okay, I've got a little 3-day reminder coming up soon. High alcohol consumption associated with various chronic diseases, high blood pressure and cancer. I think we all know that. If you're going to parties, just find alternatives. Like, if you tell people you don't drink, no one's going to question you unless you're well known for it. Just say, yeah, I don't drink anymore. No worries. People are not going to pressure you into drinking. If you say, I'm not drinking at the moment, people are going to be, oh, go on, just have one, and you're going to feel the pressure, and then you're going to want to have one. Just say, I don't drink. That's it. People stop buying it for you. People stop getting it to you. So just tonic, coconut water, posh cordial, if you like, something else that you can have. Just water. I know it's really boring, but it's not forever. Like, we want to be able to find that happy medium. Like, when you want to enjoy a drink, then you should be able to do it without feeling guilty. That's what we're going for. But it's just a controlling. Know that you can control that thing. It shouldn't be ruling your life. Sugar is basically the same thing. We're trying to break bad habits here. It's not bad, but if you have too much, then, and you're doing it daily, then no. Again, high sugar, increased heart disease, diabetes, tooth decay. We should know all this. Okay, we remove white processed sugar. It can be used a lot in processed foods, which you shouldn't be eating anyway. So you shouldn't have this problem, but it is also hidden as an ose. So dextrose, fructose, galactose, glucose, lactose, maltose, sucrose, all of these are just sugar in disguise. Okay. What about a fruit drink? What about a healthy looking smoothie? It's still the fiber has been taken out of that smoothie, out of that juice, and you're just left with fructose. Okay. So the fructose, when you eat it in a fruit, is okay. But if you take away it's been processed, you know, you don't think of orange juice, it's been processed, but it has, it's been taken from the orange, squished out. So that is a process, and you've lost the fiber, and then the juice sits around on a shelf for a week or so, and then you drink it, it's lost its nutritional benefit anyway. Maybe if you're into juicing and you just juice something, and then, you know, make sure you're using vegetables if you are juicing, not just loads of sweet fruit, but most of you won't be doing that, so don't worry. Dairy. Now, I want you to minimize dairy. Okay, again, it's not bad necessarily, but most people are have some sort of digestibility issue with the dairy. They can't digest the lactose, which is the sugar. Dairy is a good source of stuff, but again, too much of it, it's addictive. Let's just see if we can knock it on the head for 3 days or 30 days if you really want to go for it. Then reintroduce it later. Meat and eggs take a lot of energy to digest. If you're eating a lot of cheap meat, it's probably got a lot of crap in it, like all sorts of hormones and blah-de-da, antibiotics. So I think we need to minimize on the meat. Maybe try 1 day a week where you're vegetarian. So just write that down in your principles. 1 day a week vegetarian. If you want to try doing a bit more of that, then go for it. I mean, I'm 100% vegetarian now. Like, I'll eat a little bit of meat here and there if I don't really have much of a choice, or if I just fancy a little bit, I want to try something. Like, I'm not letting it rule my life. I don't have an issue with, well, I do have an issue with animal welfare, but I'm not like doing it for that reason. I'm more doing it for my own health. Okay. It is better for the environment if we eat less. There's not really much denying that either. So have a little see about the old meat and fish and eggs. Try not to measure a weigh-in for the next, until you get a reminder to do it, because if you're doing it every day, it can really play on your mind. We're doing this to break habits. We're doing this, and this can be a habit, and it can be an unhealthy habit. So focusing on the number on the scales doesn't actually represent your progress. I know you're going to be really happy when you lose weight, but you're going to be even happier when someone's like, you look great, like you look vibrant and you're looking better shape. Like, that's when you're going to be way happier. You're not going to be happy if the scales drop a kilo and no one notices and you're feeling shit still. So let's get rid of this. Caffeine. We are really addicted to caffeine, aren't we? Again, not bad, but often abused, relied on for your performance. That could be performance at work, energy. When you go down, you want caffeine, brings you up. You might think, I'm not having caffeine, but Coke is caffeine, chocolate is caffeine as well. If you're going to do a cold turkey, you might experience a few days of headache, but it will be worth it. You'll be amazed at the fact that you can exist without caffeine. You can try switching to tea first, try switching to decaf, and then go off it like that. Herbal teas, so you still got something hot to drink. I'm actually doing a little caffeine detox as we speak, because I'm going to be doing my triathlon soon, and I want to reduce the caffeine now. So when I get to have a coffee on the day, it's like boom, and it works. Like, and you get a big hit. But if you're having caffeine all the time, yeah, just forget about it. It's not gonna affect you. It's not gonna touch the sides. Great, that is it. I know that was a lot of stuff, and I've got so much more information on nutrition, but I'm just hopefully keep it there. There's a few things for you to do. Remember, we're not setting out to prove anything. We're just setting out to, help you get your goals. And if you're not going to do the nutrition, you're not going to get there, because we've had people training here 6 months, they refuse to do nutrition. And I'm like, they're training really well, maybe even, twice a day or something. It's not necessary. If you're doing nutrition, it's not necessary. 3 times a week, good nutrition, you're going to win. And if you're trying to do everyday training, you're probably going to get overtraining and then get injured, and then you're going to be off the wagon again. So do it right, do it once, and you will get the benefits. Ask for help when you need it. I'm going to be sending you the recipe guides, and if you don't get them, just hassle me for them. That's absolutely fine. The more you ask, the more I can help. And thanks for watching. Hopefully you've got some questions for me. Please send them into the Facebook group, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks very much. Catch you later.